BTMreview.com here with another Retro Rampage podcast, episode 24. I'm Aaron with Zach. What's up, dude?
Nothing much, man.
We had a cool idea last week, I believe it was. You know, we've been talking a lot about these spiritual successors. Everybody and their mom is coming out of the woodwork and jumping on this bandwagon because, I mean, frankly, it's a really cool idea. Especially for these developers that had properties back in the day and they no longer have the support from their publishing companies and stuff like that. And last week, the big one was Mega Man Legends' spiritual successor. Obviously, we could go on and on about that, but it got us to thinking, with all these big game devs coming out of nowhere and resurrecting these games that were either in developmental hell back in the day or never got the return they deserved, it made us think, hey, you know, what games would we want to see get a spiritual successor that hasn't already been announced? Because, like I said, everybody's coming out of the woodwork. And it's pretty fun to think about. But I guess we kind of made a little short list here. Zach, what do you think? What is your top pick?
All right. Have you ever played the Legacy of Kain games?
Of course.
Okay.
The fucking original. Praise Victor!
Yeah, it's been so long since I played those are games that need like a HD collection because I can't even, like, I don't even have the discs anymore to play those games. I would love to see them bring that back.
That first one, man, screams first wave of PlayStation 1 games.
Right. That actually like branched off into two separate series.
Soul Reaver.
Yeah, Soul Reaver.
And then they ended up doing the old Captain Kirk, Captain Picard fucking Star Trek where they mesh, and there was one game, you know.
Yeah, I like that game too.
I believe in Soul Reaver, Kain was the bad guy, right? Like you were going after. I think so. Yeah, you were going after the original protagonist. But
makes me want to play those again. I haven't played them in so long.
The only one I ever played was the first one, and I know the second one was pretty popular. And you know, I think it got like awesome reviews. I have Soul Reaver on the Dreamcast, and I've never actually played it because since I acquired that game, I actually don't have a working Dreamcast right now. But eventually I'll play it. But so you want to see them bring that back, huh? Too much Dracula in the business right now, man. You want all these Draculas floating around, all these like vampires.
Yeah. Well, Kain actually was trying. The whole point of him was trying to reverse the curse. He didn't like being a vampire, so
yeah, it's a pretty cool spin. You know me, I'm trying to think. There's a couple that come to mind first, and I have some comments on them. One, the greatest series of all time, well, not all time, but one of my favorite series, kind of already did get a spiritual successor, so it's like I don't know if I should mention it, but it's still not quite the same. I mean, I would want the Ghouls and Ghosts series, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely love the Ghouls and Ghosts series. It had some really cool spin-off games like Demon's Crest and stuff like that back in the day, which, by the way, Demon's Crest on Super Nintendo kicks all kinds of ass. Yep. It was a huge flop when it came out, and so, of course, now I think it's still going for north of $100. But you can get it on the Wii U eShop channel, but it's so good, and they did so many inventive things to that. But anyway, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, for all its flaws and slow down all over the place, man, that is a perfect game.
Yeah.
And
Ghosts and Goblins was like impossible. That was a launch title, wasn't it?
Ghosts and Goblins?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. You had Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins, Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
They actually remade
on the PSP. On the PSP,
yeah,
right?
On the PSP.
So I mean, it was once again one of those old Capcom IPs that they just left in the dust in favor for new modern bullshit games.
Yep.
And I mean, how many times are they gonna churn out shitty like Lost Planet games that nobody fucking wants? It's like just give it, you know, stand by your man, as like fucking somebody once sang. And they ended up coming out with a spiritual successor, which it was was it Beautiful Joe?
Yep.
Okay, Beautiful Joe, which I'm guilty of never playing. I've just seen like screenshots, but how close are those games to the Ghouls and Ghosts series?
I never got to play Beautiful Joe either.
As far as I've seen, it's got some of the similar art design. I saw some like familiar sprites and stuff, but all I know is Beautiful Joe doesn't look anything like Arthur. It looks like it's from outer space. So I mean, I guess I need to play that before I can comment too much, but I would love to see a more faithful, just straight up Ghouls and Ghosts type game. And the thing is you could totally do that game and you won't be too alienated, because it's not like Arthur was like super multidimensional of a character. He was just a guy in a suit of armor. You could literally give me another guy in a suit of armor that has the same, elements, upgrade armor, one hit, you're naked, that whole deal. You could literally make the same game again and give us different, because I mean, it's not like they were using generic characters like wolves and zombies, and give us another knight, give us another princess that's making us fucking go through a game 2 times to save her. And I don't know, I just always fucking love that game.
You have to beat the game again to beat the game.
You gotta beat them twice, man. I never beat Super Ghouls and Ghosts back in the day because you couldn't save that game. Yeah. You couldn't save it, so I'd sit down.
That's how the first one was, too.
Yeah, they're all like that. I'd sit down, and I'd play through the whole thing, and then once I got to the supposed end, and then she told me I had to go back and get the goddess bracelet and do it all over again, I usually gave up. Like, you know what? I've spent so much time today playing this, and it's not a super easy game at times.
It's freaking hard. You basically beat it once you've done it once.
And so, yeah, that's the way I consider. Like, I always have the same attitude. Like, I'm not fucking doing this again. And but I mean, ever since it's become available on the Wii U's eShop channel, where they have save states.
Oh yeah.
A few months back, I tried. I'm like, I'm gonna beat this thing, even if it's cheating, because I'm using save states. Yep. I'm gonna fucking beat this thing, and I couldn't do it in a sitting, so I use save states, and it'll pick up right where you left off. And I did it over the course of a week, but man, it gets harder because, like I said, when you have to have the goddess bracelet to beat Sardius at the end. So you got to have that equipped, and you don't have to, like, I used to think you had to keep it throughout the whole game, but no, I mean, now that I realize, hey, it'll keep coming back, you don't have to use that damn thing throughout the whole game again, but you need to make sure you have it at like the last part of the last level, because it won't come back. So you have to beat the hardest fucking part of the game with a shitty weapon, and I gave up. I fucking gave up. I'm like, fuck this. I can't do it. I'm like, I have too much of a life, dude. Then you have to beat Sardius with a fucking goddess bracelet that has no range. It's hard as shit, man. But anyway, I'd love to see them do that again. I think modern standards in gamings would do it justice as far as like saving. Things that would make it a little more tolerable. And
Would you want it to be in like 3D or 2D?
You know what? I mean, obviously, I think I'd want it to be 2D, but I mean, 2D, 3D, I like 2D. But I mean, can you imagine like one of those really cool HD 2D games? Like, I think of games like Hardcore Uprising, where they look really neat. Those HD.
I love stuff like that.
I think it would look really cool with something like that. But at the same time, if it was 3D, I'd be open to it as well, as long as it was the original guys, because I still like that vibe even in the 3D world. I think of my another pick, Medieval. Do you remember those games? You don't remember that on PlayStation?
I don't think so.
Sir Daniel Fortesque, the guy that was risen from the grave, and he was a skeleton. He was an old ex-knight.
Okay, I think I do.
Yeah.
I don't think I played it.
They had Medieval, and they had Medieval 2, and then they had a Medieval game on the PSP too, which is funny. But that game as well, that was sort of it was medieval, and it had like, sort of the same sort of macabre setting and creatures and baddies and stuff. And it was really lighthearted. I mean, a game like that was 3D, and it was great. And that game is one of the games that represents the PlayStation 1 era really well. So, Super Ghouls and Ghosts and something like Medieval, I think, really deserves another chance. I think is a lot of fun, but I'll let you give another one. I have. Yeah. There's so many games that could be done, but
yeah. Speaking of Capcom, I think this was on Capcom. It was Dino Crisis. You remember that game?
Yeah. They're Jurassic Park Resident Evil.
Yeah, it was basically kind of like it was kind of like a spiritual kind of Resident Evil game with dinosaurs, and I'd like to see them bring that back.
It was. It's exactly what it is. I mean, I have Dino Crisis 1 and 2 download on my PlayStation.
The first one was like survival horror like Resident Evil. The second one was more of an action kind of game. Yeah. Like there was like a points thing where every time you killed the dinosaurs, you got more points and stuff. The third one I never played. I guess
PS2.
I think it was the original Xbox, and it took place in space.
Oh my god! Why do they always? Why motherfuckers got to always be taking shit in space?
I don't know. Don't they know the fourth one's the one that goes to space?
I know, man. Jeez.
Critters 4, Hellraiser 4.
Rambo already missed his opportunity. He can't go to space now.
Yeah.
They've done too many. By the way, that's a shameless pitch for my idea. I like to do screenwriting on the side, and it was I actually wrote it. I wrote a script of, I had this, I don't want to say this shit on the air, not like anybody's gonna steal my ideas, but basically I already kind of wrote the one idea for like a Rambo fan film, and I tweaked it. It doesn't Rambo, it's my own thing, but I've been wanting to write a fucking Rambo in space just for fun, man.
You know what you should do is make it so that Arnold Schwarzenegger and Rambo meet, and you can call it Rambo Commando.
John Matrix, John Rambo.
They got to get together, and they got to save what's her name from Who's the Boss?
Alyssa Milano.
Yeah, they have her captive in some kind of space dungeon or something.
Well, they gotta have it. They gotta have it blended somehow. So Alyssa Milano is captive, and Brian Dennehy's the person
by space vampires. They're forcing her to make a sequel to Embrace the Vampire.
Oh yeah, the freaking the movie I lost my hand virginity to.
Yeah.
That and Poison Ivy. Anyway.
Poison Ivy 2.
Poison Ivy 2. My apologies. You know your Cinemax Spank Bank material, Zach. I'm not going to try and get one over on you. But anyway, so Dino Crisis. Yeah, for anybody out there that... And it sucks because these games where they had a sequel, or maybe back in the day, they kind of forgot about them. So, gamers today, like my little brothers, will never know what Dino Crisis is. Yeah, because they're just all but forgotten. But if you are one of these people that's kind of in that, 15, 20 range, go on YouTube and check out video footage of Dino Crisis. And it literally is Resident Evil with dinosaurs. The voice acting is the same shitty Resident Evil 1 type voice acting. It's got the same...
On Resident Evil 3, they actually made an alternative costume for Jill where you're dressed up like the chick from Dino Crisis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's funny, I can't recall that. But, yeah, it's got the same tank controllers. It's got the same little segues when you open doors and go upstairs. It's got the same, like, even like the item look and the menu feel.
Yep.
It's all the same. So, it's kind of neat. I mean, the thing is, yeah.
And if you got a PlayStation 3, you can always pay $9 and play the game.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's how I got mine as well. And they're not $9. Aren't they the $5.99 games? They're $5.99.
Oh yeah, the PlayStation 2 games are $9.
Yeah, they're $5.99, and if you're like me, you got them on sale because they're always flashing stuff on sale. It's probably a Capcom sale or something. I probably paid $1 to $1.99.
I remember like years ago, me and my cousin we went to like Save A Lot to get drinks or something. You know that store, Save A Lot?
I don't. It just sounds like a generic store. I'm pretty sure we all have our own Save A Lot in our city, but if we
I think it's a chain, but they basically sell like groceries and stuff, and they had like a box, and they had brand new PlayStation 1 games.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I got a Dino Crisis 2, like Mega Man X 2 was in there.
Yeah, that's not on PlayStation. You mean Mega Man X 4? 4 through like 4, 5, 6. Those are on.
Yeah, Mega Man. It was a Mega Man X game, and like Tony Hawk 2, which is like my favorite Tony Hawk game.
When was this?
It was years ago.
Yeah.
Like Tenchu 1 and 2. You remember those games?
Yeah, I really liked the first Tenchu. I never played any of them after that, but I liked the first Tenchu, and it was really flawed. It wasn't a perfect game, but it had something about it. I mean, you could easily throw Tenchu in there. They made a lot of shitty games for a while. It's like they just kept pumping them out like through the PS2 era. But
I even liked the newest Tenchu game, the Tenchu Z. I didn't think it was great, but it was playable.
Yeah,
it was fun.
I'm not even too familiar, but Tenchu was one of those PlayStation games that it came from that era, had really funny voice acting.
Yeah.
But anyway, so how much did you score them for? Were they sort of retail?
Oh, they were really cheap. Probably like $5 each, something like that.
It, like I said, it's that whole thing. If you could go back in time, I already kind of said it with when I told you everybody on the podcast of remembering going to Shopko, a Midwest chain, and seeing a big table of Earthbounds, the big ones, the big Earthbounds with the big boxes, just on clearance for $10 because nobody was buying them. And it's like, yeah, I wish I could go back in time and buy every single one of them. But yeah, man, I mean, if only. So Dino Crisis, that would be a cool idea. I mean, the only thing is I don't see that ever happening because I think it's been too long. And the way Capcom are, I mean, like, I know they would never invest money in it. I wonder who actually is the developer, the same person as the Resident Evil guy? The games are so similar.
I think it was, yeah.
And, I mean, he already did his game, Evil Within, right?
Yep.
So I guess he could if he wanted to, but like, even if you're that guy, aren't you going to capitalize on your biggest franchise, the horror element and stuff? So that would be cool. But
I could even, like, I mean, since Jurassic World is in the theaters now, they could always
capitalize,
see what sticks. You know?
Yeah. For all we know, that's what they were capitalizing on before. I mean, because Jurassic Park came out in '93 and Lost World came out in '97, and that game came out somewhere sandwiched in the middle, right? 96, 97. So that was hot, and now dinosaurs are all hot again. So, you know, who knows? If they don't do it, somebody will come. Please, somebody make it, because if they don't make it, then somebody's going to come out with a shitty Turok spiritual successor. Somebody's going to capitalize on this dino movement.
Turok?
Yeah. I remember everybody's loving that fucking first game when it came out.
I remember that commercial where it was like the Nintendo 64 and it was those guys singing that Christmas Carol. They were mentioning all these games.
I don't remember it.
Like the South Park game, and Turok 2 was one of them.
Yeah, I don't remember it. The first-person shooter South Park game.
Yeah. Where you could pee on snowballs and throw them.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember it. I just remember that when Turok came out, it was controversial. It was so violent. I mean, I guess it ended up being rated M, but at first, and I think there's still ads. I think I might have ads somewhere, like in old gaming magazines before it came out, where it had a rated adult rating, A. Yeah. Like, and nobody had like AO ratings. Those were like you never saw them. And but you know, of course, it's weak, and it's like, what's so violent about this? It's like, for God's sakes, it's like we had less polygonal Mortal Kombat that was doing worse stuff. But anyway, I'm not a big fan of those games. But yeah, so Dino Crisis is actually a really good one. I'm surprised I didn't think about it. Another one that I want to say is, and they kind of made a half-hearted sequel on the PSN store like some years back, like years, like maybe 5-6 years ago. But I love Rocket Knight Adventures.
Oh yeah,
I think it was like, and I think I mentioned it before, but it was the best Sonic the Hedgehog ripoff there was. Yeah, and it was Konami's answer to Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, I was gonna buy that. I was on PSN earlier.
It was the first game is incredible, and then the thing is, they kind of split. They had Sparkster. They came out with Sparkster, and then they came out with Rocket Knight Adventures 2, and they were like multi-platform. Like Rocket Knight 2 was only on the Super Nintendo. Yeah. And then Sparkster was on the Genesis. And it's like, I believe, I mean, I hope I don't get it wrong, but Sparkster was was in chronological sequence with Rocket Knight on the Sega Genesis. And then Rocket Knight 2 was basically its own fucking thing. And it was just kind of like, it was like a split universe in video gaming. But anyway, the games are awesome platformers, and they did make that like half-hearted PSN game. And it was cool. I liked the style of it and all that stuff, but it had like 4 levels. It's like your typical PSN game where we're going to give you like 4 levels and charge you $10 for it. Yeah.
Were they really hard? Like the freaking Karate Kid game?
Not necessarily Karate Kid hard, but they were good. It's just, to me, it's not a real game. It's like, you know, we're getting, you know, remember when they came out with the Sonic the Hedgehog 4 on the PSN, but they were selling them by chapters, and they were like 4 levels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
I never did play that.
Screw that. So I think it'd be really cool. And Konami, and they're weird too, dude. It's funny because, I mean, Capcom, if they're the worst, man, Konami's right behind them with this kind of thing. Yeah. But
did you ever play the speaking of chapter games, did you ever play the Back to the Future game?
No, but I have it. I have it downloaded. Is it?
I got the first chapter and I played it, and I was like really into like keep playing. I saw that they put out a disc that has all the chapters on it. So I'm gonna buy that sometime.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I've been meaning to play it. I know, fucking they got a guy that sounds just like Marty McFly, right? But yeah. Christopher Lloyd is actually voicing Doc Brown.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd is actually voicing Doc Brown, but they got a guy that sounds just like fucking Marty McFly doing the voice.
Yeah, I wonder if they got like...
They should have gave that job to Eric Stoltz. They should have given him something out of that shit.
I wonder if they actually got the what's his name to play the dad.
Oh, yeah, Crispin
Danny
Glover.
Glover. Yeah,
not
Crispin
Danny Glover.
Yeah, I always mix them up.
Danny Glover would have made up. Wait, they would. Danny Glover being the dad would have changed the entire cast.
That would have been amazing.
Because you would have had like fucking Malcolm Jamal Warner as
the guy from Saul,
Marty McFly. What?
Wasn't he in Saul too? He played like the cop that was looking for him. That got his throat cut or something.
Malcolm Jamal Warner, Theo Huxtable?
No, Danny Glover.
Oh, Danny Glover. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, Danny Glover was. Yeah. That's getting a little off topic, but so Rocket Knight, I think would be really cool. I mean, I don't know. But at the same time, my question with that is, if you do a spiritual successor to Rocket Knight, isn't it just another fucking game? If you change the mask, isn't it just another Sonic the Hedgehog ripoff mascot? It's basically just another game. So I don't know, but that was a game I always loved. You know, they gave it a couple of sequels, offshoots.
Speaking real quick of Sonic, do you see that Sega recently came out and said that they're really kind of gonna buckle down and start working on good games again?
What, they're admitting they're actually
they kind of apologized for the last couple of Sonic games.
How about
and stuff like
every
that.
Sonic game minus 2 Sonic games since 1995? I mean, think about it. How many Sonic games have they had that are good after Sonic 2? You know,
Sonic 2 is the one I really liked.
Yeah,
I never really got into any of them again.
Is the one I absolutely love. You know, Sonic 3 is alright, doesn't live up to the second one, but whatever. But to me, Sonic and Knuckles isn't very good.
Yeah, I remember playing Sonic and Knuckles a little bit.
Sonic Adventure sucks. Sonic Adventure 2 sucks. You know, I don't. Everybody loves those games, but I don't.
Remember the freaking the 360 game? That was like the worst game ever.
There's like Unleashed with the werehog, and then there's like 06, the one that's really horrible, where he's saving some like humanoid princess, and he's like making out with her bestiality style.
Yeah, I remember. That's the one I'm talking about. I remember Shadow Hedgehog, the one that was on the 64 or the GameCube.
Yeah,
he had guns and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it just really lost its way. And they're still not perfect. I know everybody likes Sonic Colors, actually. I never actually played Sonic Colors.
Yeah, I never played that too. I want to.
And then...
That's on the Wii, right?
Yeah, it's a Wii exclusive. And then Sonic Generations got some really good reviews too. And I have Sonic Generations. And the thing is, it's not perfect, but Sonic Generations is a fun game.
Yeah, I remember people talking about the newest one, Sonic Boom. They were talking about how it's like ex-Naughty Dog employees were making it, so I was kind of looking forward to that. And then it turns out that, they were ex-Naughty Dog employees for a reason.
like they're using that term loosely. They didn't even make it past the interview process. Or they got fired on their first day because they lied on their application. Like, you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You lied. Get out of here. Technically, they were ex-Naughty Dog.
I love a new Crash Bandicoot. Speaking of Naughty Dog, this is getting derailed.
Well, and then that was actually my next one, but
okay.
And that's not a original one to say, because everybody wants Crash Bandicoot to make a comeback. But I don't know if you could, because Naughty Dog is the same guy that created Crash, and isn't he still active in Naughty Dog, and he doesn't want to do it?
I'm not sure. I mean,
so I just think they need to bring back Crash. I understand that for some reason people don't think platformers are relevant anymore.
Yeah, that was what Crash was them trying to match, Sonic and Mario. They wanted their own Sonic and Mario.
He was the PlayStation mascot throughout the 90s.
Remember the commercials where he's like standing outside with a megaphone?
Yeah. And the guy was taunting. The guy is like taunting
Mario, like, "Come on out here, man," or something like that.
Yeah. They had the guy in the costume, the mascot. Those are and the thing is they had 3 really good games.
Yep.
And it's like Warped is so perfect. Crash Bandicoot 3 is so good. And it's one of those things where they're all good, but they just kept topping the last one. So it's like, I play Warped, and I don't have a whole lot of reason to play 1 or 2 anymore, because, 2 is just a superior version of 1, and 3 is just a superior version of 2. But they're so good, and I just wish that they would... I guess it wouldn't be spiritual. I mean, if they still... Yeah. If the people not making it are still in charge of making it and they're the ones actually calling the shots, I have no idea. But if they're not, if the developer isn't like in the current Naughty Dog, I would hope they would do something like that. Because, I don't know who owns it anymore. I know they sold it to... I think they just just release it to Universal, or who fucking owns it? I don't know.
I don't remember.
He kept getting tossed around. He got a whole bunch of shitty sequels for a long time there, all throughout the PS2 era and the Xbox era. And it was like the Sonic thing. It's like we started getting all these really shitty Crash Bandicoot games.
Yeah.
And I remember
did they have like a kart game? Like everybody was trying to kind of match the success of Mario Kart.
Well, the kart game was on the PlayStation, and actually people love the fucking kart game.
Oh, okay.
They had Crash Bash, which is the Mario Party ripoff, and they had
that's what I was
Crash
thinking.
Team Racing. Crash Bash isn't so good. I think people really like Crash Team Racing though, but I don't know. But the thing is when they came out with the PS2 came out, and they came out with the official follow up to Crash Warped, and it was Wrath of Cortex. It was Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex. Man, did that game suck! They took all the life out of it. It just was generic. It had like the same boss in every world with like a different function, but it was the same character. Like gone was like the cast of lovable characters, and it was just dumb. So whether or not they actually did a new sequel legit, or just had somebody to put it out, a spiritual remake, I don't fucking know, man. But that's the biggest one to me I miss the most, because I don't think I like platformers, man. I mean, now it's all about FPS and it's all about all these other things. But back when Mario 64 came out, everybody was fucking trying to keep up with the Joneses of that, and it was the platformers day, you know. And the same thing with like Naughty Dog, man. They want to talk, you know, get rid of Jak and Daxter. Jak and Daxter is awesome. So Jak and Daxter succeeded Crash Bandicoot from Naughty Dog.
Yep.
Crash Bandicoot was the mascot of PlayStation for PS1. And then they decided, hey, let's fuck him. Let's just sell him. We don't want to use him anymore. So they made Jak and Daxter. And Jak and Daxter became sort of a mascot for PS2 for Sony.
Yeah.
And those games are great.
I heard that they're making a new one, actually.
What they've been, I mean, it's just like Crash Bandicoot, where they just fucking say, oh, never say never. But did they actually finally say, yeah, we're doing it?
If I remember right, I think they said they were going to do another one soon.
Well, I hope so, because those games are fantastic as well. And then pretty much they left that era with the PS2, and then now enter PS3 and their official Uncharted, official, you know, Last of Us, and they just kind of changed. But I don't know.
Do you like Last of Us?
I own it. I actually bought it the holiday season it came out, because I got a dirt sheet for Black Friday, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah,
everybody's talking. I bet it's really good. It's just...
It's really cinematic.
I know, and I can't... I'm sure it's fun, but like, I need to wait a while.
Yeah.
I need to wait a while. I didn't want to play it through all the hype, and I'm not in the mood to play cinematic stuff right now. But
yeah.
I don't know. Well, what was your final pick?
Did you ever play Jammer Lammy and Parappa the Rapper games?
Yes, I did.
I would have liked to see another one of those.
You like them that much, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
I actually like they're not games I play over and over, but when I play them, it's just I'm right back in the 90s.
Oh, they're very, very nice. All those games like Tomba or however you want to say it, Parappa the Rapper, all that stuff. Yeah, or even like, I know this is Square, but a game like Brave Fencer Musashi. Those games remind me so much of that whole like mid to late 90s era PlayStation.
And those Katamari games too.
Yeah, I mean, I love all that stuff. God, that's another game I'd love to see a sequel, man. I need to make another Brave Fencer Musashi, because that, you know, it had a little bit of a following on the PlayStation, and then they came out with one on the PS2, which I've never played, and I guess it didn't do much, and no one really gave a shit about it. And so, you know, they're just like, okay, fuck it, we're not doing it again. But yeah. I've always wanted to get that game though, the PS2 one. But anyway, so what would be the third following of that? We had the rapper, then we had the guitar player. What's the third game centered around? What's left?
Man, I don't know. That's a good question.
You weren't prepared. I'm losing my mind. I think they would just do another rapper. Do whichever one was more popular.
Yeah,
I think that,
especially like now with like, you know, with sorry, the Rock Band and the Guitar Hero stuff's coming back, I guess. So they could do like an Unjammer Lammy where you actually play with a guitar or something.
See, I was actually about to kind of comment on that, but I was going to say that they kind of missed their opportunity when Guitar Hero was all hot to do something like that. Now, I know Rock Band's coming back and all that stuff, but is it really coming back?
Yeah, they're trying to. I mean, I think it's been long enough. I would play one again. Like, I remember I really loved the first 2 when they came out, and 3 I thought was cool because they added the boss battles and stuff.
Has it been long enough? Like, when was the last one? It just seems like yesterday.
I think it hasn't been. Man, there's like I kind of think it's been long enough, but then it hasn't been very long.
Oh man.
Especially now that they're kind of going to have to ask people to rebuy the instruments and stuff since it's on new systems.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think that's a pretty cool stopping point because the next podcast we're going to do, we're going to talk about, that's a pretty good tie-in because we want to talk about the resurgence of Tony Hawk as well. You know, and Rock Band's actually pretty cool too because these are all games that had their day in the sun and then they're trying to sit there and revive them. And, but that'll be the next one. But for now, those are just a few of the games that we came up with that we'd like to see spiritual successors to. God, I mean, there's a lot of exceptions there. Like I said, I don't know. Crash Bandicoot. Can you really make a spiritual successor to a game that somebody, the creator himself, doesn't want to do it? Obviously, same thing with like Twisted Metal. I love the last PlayStation 3 Twisted Metal.
I still haven't played that one.
It's really good. It just didn't have a lack of support because literally David Jaffe, he's all God of War for life. He moved on to God of War, but he made Twisted Metal, the Twisted Metal reboot or whatever it was for the PlayStation 3. And the thing is the day it came out, he said, fuck it. He quit and jumped ship on that. And
and
it went unsupported. There was no DLC. They never fixed anything. It was horrible. But what is there is a really fun game.
Yeah.
So
I remember wasn't Twisted Metal Black is supposed to be a reboot?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of I don't know if it's a reboot. It just seemed like it was like an alternate timeline.
Yeah, I really liked that one.
That one was really, really good. That one was really, really good and a lot of fun. But the new one's a lot of fun too. It's kind of a cool hybrid between sort of the comic-y vibe of like Twisted Metal 1 and 2 and the dark, sinister vibe of Twisted Metal Black. It's not quite as dark as Black, but it's violent and stuff like that, but it's just a little brighter in tone. But it's really good for what's there. It's just, I look at it and I see wasted potential.
They should have called it Twisted Metal White.
Yeah.
The White Album.
Yeah.
There's nothing on the cover.
Oh, God. It's a good game, though. You can get on a budget title now, though. But I will say this. It's the hardest fucking game on the PlayStation 3. Had they actually supported it after the launch day, hopefully they would have like changed the difficulty, like updated it with like easier mode, because that's the only thing about it, dude. It is so hard where I just like, you rage quit so much. But anyway, that's neither here or there. Let us know what some of your kind of pipe dream games you would like to see come back in some form, whether it be canon to the series or it be a spiritual successor. I think we touched on a pretty cool one, a few cool ones, and it's funny because as soon as we stop talking about it, we're going to think of a whole bunch more we wish we could have said. But anyway, that's it for now. Let us know on btmreview.com, on the YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. Tell all your friends, and Facebook and Twitter and all that fun stuff. And once again, all you tweeny boppers on Tumblr, we've been there for a few years as well. So, share us with all your middle school friends. I think we're hip. We talk.
I use Tumblr sometimes.
Yeah, we target. We can target the young market. You know,
dude, you can find a lot of porn on Tumblr.
I know Tumblr's unedited. There's so many different like porno Tumblr. We're getting off topic where I'm trying to end the podcast, but there's a lot of fucking Tumblr pages that are dedicated to just disgusting porn stuff. So if you want to go look up that disgusting filth, I guess if that's what's going to bring you to Tumblr, maybe at least BTM Review will make you stay. But I'm probably just wishful thinking here. I'm probably BTM Review is neither going to bring you or keep you there. You might, at most, do us a favor and just kind of like sidestep the porn for a second and just check it out. And you'll probably just go back to the porn. But whatever. We'll take whatever. But anyway, let us know what you think. And for now, I'm Aaron.
I'm Zach.
Be excellent to each other. Right? See you guys later.